Only people who have already surpassed 100 GRL in FC Mobile can like this video. But even if you have less GRL, it doesn't matter because in this video I'm going to help you learn how to increase your GRL in the game. My team is currently at GRL 109, which means it's a little or quite a bit above average. The other day I did a survey where I asked my followers in my WhatsApp group. By the way, you know you can join my WhatsApp group. The link is down below in the description. I asked them what their GRL was in FC Mobile.
And look, some of them have a pretty high GRL, some are average, but I was surprised that some of them have a really low average.
And now, with the new Team of the Year event and the cards at 107 GRL, it's extremely important to raise your team's GRL no matter what, if you don't want to fall too far behind. You know, I recommend that you watch the video until the end. And that's it. Leave your like, subscribe for more content. Let's go with the first trick or tip to increase your GRL in FC Mobile. And here comes the topic of substitutes in your team. Guys, look, I recommend not having substitutes in your main team if you want to increase your GRL. Of course, there are exceptions here since, for example, you can have a formation that is specifically for the head-to-head mode. Where there you can add the substitutes you want. Since, well, there we really don't care about the overall, but if we're just talking about raising the average, then I don't recommend having substitutes. Because look, for example, I'm going to add substitutes. They would have a pretty high overall, and you'll see how it affects my team's overall. Remember that this is also a double-edged sword, because sometimes by putting in high overall substitutes, your overall goes up. But this is very important to consider. Guys, because look, over here I'm already putting in a lot of substitutes, and eventually, when you put in a lot, look, there it is. I put in 4 substitutes. And as you can see, we dropped 2 points in GRL. Have I told you it's a double-edged sword? Because sometimes putting in substitutes with a very high GRL increases your average, but in this case, it affects me. So I also recommend that you don't put in substitutes. Look how we went back to our 109 GRL again. The next trick or tip has to do with formations. And there are formations in the game that allow you to increase your GRL more easily. The 4-2-4 is a great example of this. Why do I say this? Well, because it has the most key positions and it's where you can get the most extra cards. GRL. If you notice, there's the goalkeeper, 2 center backs, 2 left backs, 2 central midfielders, 2 strikers, and 2 wingers. And well, FC Mobile likes to release a bunch of cards in those positions. Other formations that are really good for increasing overall are the 4-3-3 attack and the 4-4-2 flat. Although it's actually very hard to find, it would have to be an LM and an RM that are, so to speak, good value for money. But one of my favorites will always be the 3-4-3 diamond. Why? Well, because 3 center backs increase the overall rating a lot without needing fullbacks. Of course, it's a bit tricky to find, like I said, left midfielders and right midfielders. Let's go with trick number 3. And it's extremely important, guys, that as of today, you should at least keep the red range on all your cards throughout your entire squad. Please, it's extremely important. And if you have them at gold rank, even better. And listen, I'm not saying that cards in purple or blue rank are trash or useless, but it really does help a lot to upgrade your cards from red rank onward. If you want to increase your GRL, and if by any chance you're having trouble ranking up your players because you don't have that many Mascheranos, you can try the 8-second trick. Look, I'm not saying it always works, but let's give it a try. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, I ranked up, I did it very slowly, If it works, it's luck, failure. If not this one, I did it wrong, but what if? If you want to see the 8-second trick with the Mascherano's, check out this video. This tip is very important, so please respect the positions. If you somehow end up with a player out of position, you'll see that the overall drops a lot. Let's imagine positions that, even if they're compatible, can still greatly affect performance. Here we see that Rafael Leao can play as a center forward, but our overall still drops to 107. Since Fernando Torres isn't suited for left winger, and neither is Harry Kane. And the thing is, a lot of people make the mistake of, for example, seeing a player who has what should be yellow positions. Like in this case, Rafael Aume. And as a striker, they say, don't you know he can be a striker and also a left midfielder? And it's not going to affect my overall, but no, the reality is that it does affect it a lot, because as we saw, it even lowered our overall rating. So it's important to respect the positions in FC Mobile. The better you have everyone in the right place, the more overall points you get. As of today, only use cards with more than 102 overall. I'm not saying that players with lower ratings are bad or obsolete, but nowadays overall is very important. And the players with 101 or 99 overall aren't very good anymore these days. Look, here in the market filter, we're going to set it to what should be 102 overall. And as a minimum, you know? I mean, whenever you're going to sign a player, have this filter activated, 102 overall. Because otherwise, yeah, I mean, we're going to lower the average. I set the filter from 102 to 103 to see what options are available in the market. And honestly, there are some really good options. Samuel Eto'o is a really good card. Marco Llorente is very good. Gerrard is excellent. Balotelli is a god. Foden is good. I mean, there are a lot of cards with 103, 102 overall that also work quite well. This trick is obvious, but you really have to do it. And that's that we have to get Mascherano cards no matter what. In the Team of the Year Weekend Challenge modes, we find what would be Javier Mascherano cards. Because they're essential nowadays, we find them everywhere in the store. In the League exchanges, you can even get 5 for free from the Deep Rivals store, where you can also get another 5 for free. The worst mistake you can make in FC Mobile is not doing these Mascherano exchanges every week because they're free. So please, always try to have as many Mascheranos as possible. That way, if you have a player at base rank, you can upgrade him without any problems. That's also why FC Mobile has introduced this scouting mode, where as rewards we have 2 Mascheranos. Well, finishing round number 4. And besides that, we know that the Team of the Year event is full of Javier Mascheranos, free for everyone. The next tip I think is the most important, or in a way, the most useful. Well, it's an indispensable tool, a tool that will help us calculate the overall and tell us how much we need for the next step. We're here on the renders page. Oh, it's also an app. You can download it from the App Store or the Play Store. Just to be clear, this video is not sponsored, because then you'll think I'm selling you, I don't know, a commercial. We go here to tools and then we select what would be the team builder. And after that, well, obviously we create a new team. Here it allows us to change the theme, well, to the lineup we want, the one we use. And it gives us the slots for the 11 players to set up our team here. I'm gonna use what would be random players, you know? I'm gonna be there, I mean, moving the overall S, so it's not just the maximum overall, and the calculator works really well. The next day, here it is, guys. I just created what would be a pretty simple team. Where, well, if we pay attention, we have 105 overall, no ranks or anything have been added. If we go here to what would be the calculator, it's going to tell us what we need. To increase to 106 overall, we're going to need to increase 8 points in the base overall. Increase 1 rank, or also a player that has at least 113 overall, but of course it tells us this because no player has ranks. Over here, it told us that with 1 rank up we would go up to 106, and in fact we went up 1 rank and now we are 106 overall. Now the calculator says we need 11 ranks to go up to 107. We give this one 5, we give this other one 5, and if I give 1 more rank, we go up to 107 overall. Without a doubt, it's one of the best tools, and in fact, it's the one I use to know how much I need to level up my overall. You'll find the link to this page in the description, but remember there are also apps. Well guys, I hope this video was helpful for you. Now you have a better idea of how to gradually increase your GRL. And let me know in the comments how much overall rating you've managed to get.